Hey guys, you're here with Faye from Faye Special Effects, and today what we're going to go over is part 3, I believe, of our heart making process, how to make a heart. First we did the sculpting, then we did the mold making, and then we did, now, this step is we are going to actually cast the prosthetic. So we're going to use some gelatin. I will be using Titanic FX Gelatin, and then I will be also showing you how to make your own gelatin. Using anything that you can find at the grocery store. They are completely different types of gelatin. The Titanic FX prosthetic grade is a lot more durable, a lot squishier. It's pretty awesome. Excuse the cat. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and get into that. So we've already gone through our sculpting process. We've already gone through our making the 2-part mold. Now this is going to be to actually pour the gelatin. I made sure to spray some mold release. I'm using Casting Craft that I got at Michael's, I believe. I'm going to use a strap just to make sure that the 2-part mold is as close together as I can possibly get it, making sure it's nice and tight. And this is the Titanic FX Gelatin in flesh color. I'm just cutting it into a bunch of tiny cubes so it's easier to melt. I popped that into the microwave for about 40 seconds at a time, because if you overboil it, it will become unusable. And I'm just putting it in some European Body Arts Endura. This is the Bruised Red color, just to give it a little bit of pigment. Usually you can use actual pigment flock, but I have not gotten into that yet. So I'm just kind of half-assing this. And I'm making sure to pour right in the middle of the hole. I don't want to get it on the edges, because I want it to fill up as much as it can. So I'm going to be using Knox gelatin and glycerin that I got at the grocery store. I'm mixing 2 parts glycerin, 2 parts gelatin, and 1 part water. I am measuring this out with a food scale just to make sure that I am pretty accurate. And I believe I used 8 packets of the gelatin powder, if that helps you out any. Honestly, I usually just eyeball it because I've messed with gelatin so many times just to make sure I get the right consistency that I wanted. So after I put everything together, I'm going to throw it in the microwave for about 30 seconds at a time. I already poured it, and this is what the Knox gelatin ends up looking like. So now that we've got our actual prosthetic, our mold, I'm going to go in with the European Body Arts Alcohol SFX palette and Undead palette. I'm mostly going to be using reds and the vein tone colors, along with the rose adjuster from the Skin Illustrator Monster palette. I'm using European Body Arts Fuel in order to activate the colors, and then I'll be using some European Body Art Blood. So I'm going in first with the Skin Illustrator's Natural 1 color. It's more of a off-white, tannish kind of color, but when I was referencing photos, there was a lot of white spots. Now I'm going in with the rose adjuster, giving it a nice thick pigmented color. I'm going to do most of the heart with this color. Making sure to stay away from the veinage, because I'm going to either use the vein tone or a different tone color on that. I'm going in with a mix of the rose adjuster and Bruised Red, as well as the regular red. I'm kind of mixing them together, trying to get the darkest reds in any kind of crevasses that are here, just to deepen up the heart, to make sure that whenever it's being photographed or video recorded, that it ends up being able to tell that you have a lot of that depth to it. As I'm going in, I'm starting to use my fingers just to get a little bit of a softer look, because the brush picks up a lot of the color. So I'm just using my finger so I can get a lighter shade of red on it. The European Body Arts Prime Red. I'm gonna do a couple of the veins this color and then smush it with my finger just to give it a little bit more of a soft look and blend it a little bit more. For the rest of the veins that I have on here, I'm gonna smudge on that vein tone from European Body Art. Trying to give it that washed out vein kind of look, not so prominent and dark. Going in with the European Body Arts Black to make some more depth in those ventricle valve thingamabobbers, whatever they're called. And then just going in with some more Bruised Red to add more depth to the edges of it. Plus it's a nice nasty meaty kind of color on the prosthetic, so it's good. So after I've got the heart to a nice color that I like, I'm going to go in with some red yarn and some spirit gum. I'm just cutting and separating the yarn from what it was wound up to be, just to kind of make little villus veins. I don't know what they'd be called, teeny tiny little veins. And I'm first putting a layer of spirit gum on the heart where I want the veins to be, starting on the inner corners and the inner crevices. And I'm just going to lay over the yarn in different shapes and kind of just making it all go down, because all of my veins are going down a little bit. I'm using the spatula to get on that inner corner, or that crevice, I guess. I like saying that word, I guess. But this adds some nice gutsy bloodiness to it. So now I have it flipped on the side. You can't really see, but you can kind of see the seam from where the prosthetic, where that two-part mold was. So I'm just making sure to put some yarn over that. Making sure to put a layer of spirit gum over all the yarn as well to kind of keep it there. And I'm wetting my fingers and then laying down the yarn because that spirit gum is still pretty tacky. So I'm going in now just with some extra color because I felt like my vein tones weren't as veiny and blue as they should be. So I'm just adding a little bit of color just to break up all that red, all the different colors of red I have in there. I have it basically the way that I want. I'm going to go in with the European Body Arts The Blood. And I'm kind of going to basically put this all around it because once it dries, it'll like stay dried wet looking, like wet blood. So it looks like it's nice and freshly ripped out of the heart. And like I said, I'm just going to put this all over, especially where the yarn is, because I really like the way that it looked with the yarn and the blood together. So after this blood, that's going to be pretty much it for this video. Hope you liked it. Check out the other videos in this series as well. Alright, if you liked that video, go ahead and subscribe to my channel for more awesome videos like this, because more subscribers encourages me to make more videos and all that stuff like that. Make sure to check out some of my other videos while you're here. I've got a lot of interesting stuff. If you ever want to see me do anything, just leave it in the comments below, or if you have any comments at all, just let me know. Thanks again for watching, guys, and as always, check you later.